the Midwest floods of 2007. For smaller cities, this was that 100-year flooding event.
When we seen the house, it was snapped in two. And everything we bought, down to the littlest thing, washed downstream.
It had rained so much, it was so deep, it would push the truck off the road.
I mean, the water was pounding me.
I had to keep jumping up to get air.
I had a heart attack the year before. That wasn't a good place to have another one.
From the Weather Channel, this is Storm Stories with meteorologist Jim Cantore.
Summer in the Midwest. Crops like wheat are being harvested. The livestock is out to pasture, and the open plains heat up. By August, it is typically hot, humid, and dry. And in 2007, it's even hotter than usual. Places like Louisville, Kentucky are experiencing a heat wave. A record 22 consecutive days at 90 degrees or above. By mid-August, unsettled weather starts to brew. On August 16th, Tropical Storm Erin sweeps in from the Gulf, drenching Texas. It moves up into Oklahoma, where rain continues to come down hard, dropping record amounts. At the same time, a cool front moves down from the north and stalls over the Midwest.
You had the remnant low pressure from Tropical Storm Erin still circulating, still spinning in moisture, and then you had that stationary front slowly moving its legs through the upper Midwest.
This cocktail of unusual weather players will soon collide, and the results will prove to be catastrophic for many across the Midwest.
It really was about timing and these two storms really joining up at just the right moment.
By August 18th, the warm, humid air lingering from Erin clashes with the cold front, resulting in rains not seen in parts of the Midwest in almost 100 years.
States from Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, Iowa, Ohio saw 5 to 10 inches of rainfall in about an 18-hour period.
The rain will cause massive flooding across 12 states from northern Minnesota to southwest Missouri. It will force people to evacuate their homes and cause widespread damage. And because in many places the relentless rain is unexpected, dangerous flash floods will put lives at risk. It's August 20th when 69-year-old Ruth Ross leaves her home early in the morning to take her 87-year-old mother, who lives in nearby Miller, Missouri, to a doctor's appointment. Ruth doesn't think there's anything unusual about the rainstorm that greets her that day. Ruth takes pride in driving her 22-year-old blue Ford Ranger truck. She says they've been through a lot of miles and weather together.
The closer I got to Miller, the more it was raining. And I've been over that road a lot of times, never been any water there. So I didn't think anything about pulling over or anything.
At the same time, Kenneth Mills is finishing his night shift as a short order cook at a nearby restaurant. He is also driving through Miller on Highway 39. The rain is coming down hard, pounding the country road.
Didn't realize it was going to rain that hard that fast.
Ruth Ross and Kenneth Mills' destinies will soon collide in the wee hours of the morning on this empty road. They will be in the fight of their lives, together, yet very much alone.
The water coming across the road, and my truck stalled. So I turned on my flashers and my lights. I thought maybe somebody would come out and tow me out. Then all of a sudden, I was in it.
Water begins to fill the embankment of the country road as the rain pounds down harder. Ruth is suddenly caught in a flash flood.
I got scared because I didn't know how high the water was going to come up, and I was afraid my truck would go upside down, and I might lose my sense of direction.
With no one around to help, Ruth decides to get out of her truck.
I had a heart attack the year before. I knew I had to stay calm, because that wasn't a good place to have another one. So I thought I'd walk up to the higher part of the highway where it was an upgrade, but it was too swift. So I got back in my truck.
But her truck is no longer safe. It is quickly filling up with water.
Water started coming up in my floorboard. I got out and I held on to the front bumper.
Ruth worries that she will drown in the rapidly moving waters. She looks up and sees something in the distance.
A little white truck came, and I didn't know who it was at the time.
I pulled up and I saw her truck, and I just hollered at her, hang on, you know, I was going to try to drive down through there on the high side of the road and get to her and throw a rope to her.
While Ruth clenches her bumper, Kenneth prepares his rescue.
She just was screaming for help, you know, and there wasn't nobody else around.
I'm just thinking, thank God somebody's coming to rescue me.
The water rises even higher, gains momentum, and is increasingly swift and violent. Kenneth's good deed is about to go awry.
He didn't even quite get to me, and he just went right over the bank. The flood water just pushed him right over.
I got about halfway, then the field just rose up like the ocean. My truck started sliding. I knew I was gone.
He went right over, across the highway, down this bank, and out into this pasture before he even got to where I was.
The power of the current is strong, and Ruth loses strength to hold onto the bumper.
The flood waters swept me over, across the highway and down the bank.
Kenneth is not only unable to help Ruth, but now he's at risk of drowning himself.
I went off in a ditch in the deep part. My truck's just floating around. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I started seeing water coming in the truck through the heater vents. And I knew I was gone, you know, because water just gushing through there and just kept going up and up and up. Finally, I got scared. I didn't know what to do, so I climbed out of the truck.
Kenneth finds temporary safety on his truck's rooftop, while Ruth floats downstream, fearing the whipping waters will take her under. Then, out of nowhere, she spots a log.
I was lucky. It just came straight in front of my bumper. And then it has the little branches sticking up, and I had a hold of one just like a saddle horn on a saddle.
Violent waters are taking everything down, and the force of the water ripped Kenneth's clothes right off his back.
Took my shoes off, my shirt.
His shirt had got sucked off as he went over the bank.
To make matters even worse, Kenneth doesn't know how to swim and is now in the fight for his life.
All I could see was his head, because he was on the cab of his truck holding onto the windshield wiper.
The two of them are stuck in different areas only 30 feet apart. They can see each other, but are unable to help each other. Ruth sees Kenneth losing his ability to hang on.
The only time that I did talk to Kenneth was when he was threatening to jump out of his truck, because I didn't know where he would go.
Kenneth continues to fight the currents while Ruth is still stationary. She's somehow been able to balance on the log.
Kenneth was closer to where the water was coming right off of the bank, so he was actually getting more water than me.
The roadway is desolate. Ruth and Kenneth wonder if they will survive, if anyone will find them. 1 hour passes with them fighting the water, and then a lucky break. Volunteer Fire Chief David Rose stumbles upon the scene driving home from a work call. What he sees is chilling.
He was standing in the back of the truck, leaning forward over the back glass, and he was holding on the windshield wipers and then holding on to the top of the cab. I immediately got on the radio and started frantically hollering at Lawrence County, telling them, send me help, send me all the help you got.
Once he realizes that he can't reach Kenneth, he turns his attention to Ruth. He quickly learns that he is not equipped to help either one of them.
I could not go in to get her because, you know, it was a dangerous situation and I couldn't do it by myself. So that's why I called in all the help I could get.
Remnants of Tropical Storm Erin bring unexpected amounts of rain, which is causing flooding.